Well, hello you guys. I got a pretty late start to the day, so I don't know how far I'm going to get tonight. At minimum, we're going to be tearing apart this engine. As you guys saw, I just got the dash flocked for the 04 STI. I do that in a lot of my cars. A lot of people ask me, hey, what is that suede material that you have on your dash? It's just flock. I'll link it down below. Super easy to do. You just cover the entire dash in glue, you flock it, and then you got to let it sit for, normally I do like 4 days or so, just to let everything properly adhere and cure, and then you just take a little bit of compressed air, blow off all the excess, clean up the excess, then you can put the dash in. Super easy to clean also, just some like Soniac's Alcantara cleaner, and that stuff cleans up beautifully, and it doesn't really fade. I've had that in cars for years, they never fade, and if I'm not happy with it, I have the other dash that's in the 04 STI that I can swap back in if I want to. So, also good news, I got the crank pulley off. The ATI super damper is totally toasted, but dude, that's why I just don't like these things, man. You cannot get them off to save your life. These things just never come off. So they are rebuildable. I might keep it in my spare parts bin, but if anything, I'll throw a fluid damper on there, or I have an OEM one right there I can toss on, but no big deal. We're gonna be tearing apart this EJ25. Before I do that though, I have one more update for you guys. I have bought, I think it was like $700 worth of OEM components for this 04 STI, just for the engine. I bought a brand new engine harness because mine is like, it's 20 years old. It's crusty, it's hard, it's nasty, and I have a feeling they're gonna start discontinuing some of these parts here in the next like year or so. So I figured I'd snag an OEM harness while they still make them. It'll be fresh, it'll be brand new, it'll be beautiful. On top of that, all gaskets, all these hoses, everything like that for the engine has been ordered. So they'll probably ship out this week. The game plan for right now, tear this engine down, get these heads off, and send them over to the machine shop tomorrow just to get them resurfaced. I'll order a new timing belt kit tonight. Should be pretty self-explanatory. I've torn these things apart enough times. So make sure your timing is set to top dead center. All your timing marks are lined up before you remove any of the timing components. The biggest battle will probably be AVCS cam gears as they normally are, but shouldn't be too bad. Start tearing this thing apart. So if you've ever worked on Subarus before, you know these cam gears like to, the bolts like to round out the stock 10 mil Allen. So pro tip that I found works pretty well is take some valve grinding compound and put them inside. The extra like grit from the valve grinding compound legit helps a ton, like an absolute ton. So we got our 10 mil and we'll stick that right in there. Okay, we got that one. This one really don't want to come out? You really don't? Oh, look at that. Didn't round. I'm telling you, man, valve grinding compound hasn't failed me yet. Oh, look at that, didn't round. So I've got our engine all torn down. Pistons actually look pretty good in there. We'll clean them up. We'll get all the crustiness off of it. We'll get all the crustiness off the block. We'll do that in the morning. Clean up all the mating surfaces for like seals, like water pump and whatnot. Get all like that schmoo off down there. I think I'll order a new oil pump today just to get that prepped and ready to go. Over here, I've got our entire heads laid out. So this is normally how I do them. I'll lay some cardboard down. I've got like the left cylinder head, and I've got all the buckets labeled. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I just go left to right, 1 through 8. I do that on both of them. Cams, all that stuff. We have stock cams, ARP 2000 head studs. Everything's just kind of laid out over here. As for our head gaskets, they look pretty minty, if I do say so myself, for used head gaskets, I guess I should say. Maybe they weren't actually leaking and it was just some schmoo, because I'm not seeing any compromised spots on these head gaskets. Obviously, we're putting new ones in because we're not going to reuse used head gaskets. That would probably not last very long, for being honest. So in the morning, we'll go drop those heads off at the machine shop. We'll probably get them back tomorrow too. Drop them off in the morning, get them back tomorrow afternoon. Resurfaces really only take like an hour and a half or so for those things, so it's not terrible. As long as it's a resurface, they'll pressure check them and everything like that. If it fails pressure check, then we gotta go in and do like valves and everything like that. And I'm trying to avoid doing valves. I'll probably order some valve springs because we can replace the valve spring. With 200K miles, I don't really know how many miles are on those valve springs, but since they're old, we might get some valve float up higher in the RPM band if we start to rev it out a little bit, especially making some power. So I'll probably just order like a set of Brian Crower stainless steel valve springs for those. But not bad. Everything's looking pretty minty, so sweet. Like I said, we'll go drop those things off in the morning. We got the STI's heads dropped off. I'm letting the WRX kind of run for a second. She's a little bit rich and it's throwing some rich codes, so try to make some adjustments there. But let's go back to the house and start cleaning up that engine off of that STI and start knocking out that chassis. There's still a lot we got to do on that thing. So something super weird happened to me when I was driving back. I was gonna get a little bit of driving footage, but on my way back, and it freaked me out to the point where I was just like, all right, I'm just gonna focus on driving. A, we were running too rich and throwing system too rich codes. B, the transmission kicked me out of 5th gear when I was just cruising in 5th. I'm too scared to go into 6th gear because I don't know what's going to happen, especially with the reverse issue in this car. But I was just cruising at like 60, 65 in 5th. It was at like 3K RPM, 3,500 RPM. And then out of nowhere, it was just like, no, you're done. And it kicked me back to neutral and we're right back into 5th gear. So I called Johnny, he said, don't worry about it. We're pulling the trans. We're pulling the trans out of the WRX on Friday, tearing the trans apart on Saturday and seeing what the hell's going on with this thing. Our new reverse gears show up, our new synchros show up, so hopefully it's something as easy as that. But on the bright side, our heads are dropped off and we should have those back in a couple of days, so. Well, now that we're back, we got our heads dropped off. I wanna spend a little bit of time cleaning up our nasty EJ25 back there because there is oil and coolant spilt all over this thing. So I just wanna spend a little bit of time making it look somewhat fresh and new again. But before we do that, I wanna talk to you guys about today's video sponsor, because it is that time of the month again. Our friends over at Haviland. Now, as you guys know, we've been working with Haviland for about a year and a half now, which is awesome. They're awesome company, awesome products. Today, we're gonna be talking about Haviland's Lifelong Oil. We actually use this in a lot of the cars. The White Legacy outside uses it. This STI behind me will use it. This is a great option for those looking to snag oil from a local retailer. You can snag Haviland from your local Walmarts if you're going there to do your school shopping, your Christmas shopping, your Valentine's Day shopping, whatever you're going to go shopping for. Now, Haviland offers this stuff in a couple different grades. For us, we use 5W30 or 5W40 in most of our cars here. Now, one thing I really like about the Haviland stuff is their packaging. It uses 70% less plastic, and you get 6 quarts versus 5 quarts like you would out of traditional or other styles. It's also incredibly easy to use. You can pop up the top right here, get the pour spout out. You can undo the cap, you're ready to fill. One thing that is nice about this is it doesn't glug because it is like a bag in a box type of situation, like a bagged wine in a box kind of situation. You also have a nice little viewing window here and a handle right here. Don't use scissors on this or a knife, or otherwise you're going to make a mess everywhere and you're not going to be happy. The other really nice thing about this, which we use all the time, is we also use these to dispose of our old oil because it's so easy to fill these up. You can pop this cap off up top, put a funnel in here, and take all of your expensed or used oil from the change that you just did and dispose of it at your local auto parts store. And it's easy. It doesn't make a mess or anything like that. So like I said, if you're looking to try new oil, definitely check out Haviland. So with that, start cleaning up our nasty EJ25 back there. I'm not totally done cleaning this thing yet, but that's about where I'm gonna stop. There's a couple things that I gotta fix on it, like I gotta drill that out, helicoil it, a couple other small holes on here and whatnot, just to ensure the block doesn't have any issues. I did find the HMS stamping right here. It's like etched in there, so it's incredibly difficult to see, but it was made what is it, October 26, 2017. So it's not crazy old. I mean, I guessed right when I was like 2017, 2018, it was probably made. So it still works, so we're still gonna use it. So I'm gonna go ahead and swap out the oil pump. I have an OEM 11 mil that we're gonna be throwing on this thing. Like what we do with all of our oil pumps, we are gonna be taking off this back casing, packing it. Normally I use Vaseline, all I have is assembly lube right now. So we'll pack the oil pump with assembly lube and then put blue Loctite on all the screws that go around the oil pump just to ensure that we have no failures. We'll get some sealant put on the back of this guy, get it slapped on, and get a new oil pump ready to go for this engine. Now the whole reason that you take out this back plate is these screws back out over time. Subaru should put Loctite on them, but they don't, so that's what we do. And we pack them to be able to build oil pressure easier. Vaseline works way better than assembly lube, but assembly lube's all I got, so it'll work. I mean, it will work, don't get me wrong. It's not like it's not going to not work. It will work. Boop, there's our oil pump. There we go. Let's go pop off the old oil pump now. Ah, there we go. Come on. There it is. New oil pump is installed, all sealed up. Gotta let that thing cure. I mean, it's not like we're doing anything to it now. Honestly, I mean, it doesn't look brand new. It doesn't look pretty, but it definitely cleans up well, I'd say. Well enough for me to run it. Like, all of this crustiness still bothers me, but without having a hot tank and without completely disassembling the engine, I'm just not going to be able to get any of that stuff out. So pretty like satisfied with it for the most part now. Now it just comes down to waiting for the heads to come back from the machine shop, then we can get those slapped on there. One nice thing about doing all this is you start to accumulate, at least working on like a lot of Subarus, one thing is like you start to accumulate a lot of parts. So I pretty much have a full timing belt kit here and just spare parts. All I need is a tensioner, a belt, and a water pump, and we can retime it once that comes in. So sick! Pretty happy with that. Like I said, I gotta go jet over to the shop, so let's go jump over there. I'm gonna try to get hold of Jeremy real quick down at out front and see if we have any updates on our EG. Kind of curious. Last update I got, we're waiting on JE. Hopefully our pistons are done, or almost done. Trying to get through all these break-in miles. Need 500. We're at 87. We're getting there. I want the WRX to make some sauce, daddy. Trying to drive this thing as much as possible, man. I want to see how much power we'll make. It makes crazy turbo noises. I can only get up to like 1 PSI a boost. Doesn't hurt to keep this stuff. Air cooler piping, pie cuts. So still no word from Jeremy or anyone on what is going on with this thing. The big thing I'm waiting on, or the big thing we're waiting on right now, is JE to finish the pistons, so that way we can assemble our new block to get it in here, get out this test fitting block. I am going to modify, I think I'm just going to do the turbo kit on this and modify it. So I want the turbo to sit down and back a little bit more, kind of like down here, and then we'll do the dump tube coming off of that, and we'll have it come, we're still gonna do a fender exit, we'll just have it come out of the carbon wide body right there. But it looks like all we gotta do is just cut down, just cut that guy back a little bit more, extend it out that way a little bit, and then just drop that top piece, and it should put the turbo where we want, which will be nice. Because I mean, it fits right here, but I can't close the headlight. This piping is like straight up, and I don't know, man. We'll have to play with some ideas. I'll see if I can do it. If not, I have a buddy who can do it for us. So it's all right, Blue. He'll work again one day. So I think that's where I'm gonna end it here on this video, you guys. On the next one, I wanna start going through the actual chassis while we start waiting on some engine components to either show up or come back from the machine shop. There's a lot that I need to clean the engine bay. I need to clean the wheel wells. We have stainless steel brake lines showing up tomorrow that we'll put in. We'll bleed the brake system to get out all the schmoo. I'll probably pull the Brimbos completely off if we're being honest and deep clean them. Toss the rotors because we need brand new rotors on this. This car needs a lot. Just be prepared that if you, I've seen a lot of people say they want to buy an older STI or WRX like this. Be prepared that even one that's decently maintained is going to need a lot of love. 20 years, this, like I said, any car, 20 years, it's going to take its toll. So, like I said, that's all I got for you guys on this one. We got our EJ25 torn down, got it cleaned up. I'll probably clean it up a little bit more tonight, just to get the rest of the carbon off of the pistons. You know, I'll do something. Manly pistons and manly rods, so that's kind of cool, I guess. But anyways, if you guys like the video, you know what to do. Go and hit that like button, turn it black, blue, green, yellow, purple, silver, cyan, whatever color it turns for you. And if you're not already subscribed to the channel and you want to be, put in one of these corners. No idea which one quite yet, but with that, I will catch you guys in the next one. So peace out, homies.